TGIF Warriors, we made it. Everyone, tell me we're not resilient to get through a week like this. Okay, how are you, Mike and Steve and Blake? How are you, General? Arlo, AJ, who's ready to buy some dollars today? Okay.
Ooh,
Ooh, huh? There's a
ooh,
challenge.
ooh.
Timothy Jabin.
PCE.
Yeah.
That
Uh,
sounds like a challenge, coach. Sounds like a
uh,
challenge.
well, I own a little. Uh, but I don't think it's a low yet. Could be. I mean, some people are saying it's an ending diagonal. Anyway, Ingmar, how are you? Kay, Bran, Ingmar, Ryan's around. Oh my gosh.
And just so for the record, Dale, I went long dollar. I just got out of everything. I was like, well, I did earlier this morning. I was long, like selective dollar MEX, dollar Rand, dollar CAD. And I made a little, I lost a little, overall net positive, but marginally on the margin. I mean, it was really, really, it's hard. Toughest trade
Yeah,
right now is to be long the dollar. And that's
yeah.
it, you know,
That's
and
probably
like,
why eventually it's going to be right because it's
eventually, I think it will be, yeah. But the question is, does the euro
And
reach?
eventually we're all going to be dead.
Yeah, that is an eventuality as well, Steve.
I think we'll
Um,
have a dollar rally before any of us die. That's
let,
my
let's
big
let's
call.
let's leave it
I
to
agree
Steve to
100% with
kill
you.
us all.
Anyway, look, we warned about this potential breakdown in gold. The tell was with the dollar weak yesterday, it couldn't do anything.
Yeah,
So we talked about this level.
yeah.
Is it a false breakdown? I don't think so. Measures what about 31 and a half or so, and even silver is weaker than gold today, which makes
And
me think
platinum is
about
even weaker than those 5% down on the day.
yeah, platinum. Well, what a move. I mean, it's due, right? But I'll pull up this silver chart again. It's not a lower close, and you know, I, before this week, I didn't rule out another shot up, and it could happen. But if we get back through 34, that's an issue because that's a breakout, right? So if we negate 34, it opens the door for 32. And then I think by sometime this fall, we're going to see $27. So, and by then, if we're not dead, we'll be witnessing a pretty good dollar rally.
I only
So,
own physical, so I'm seriously hoping you're right. I would so
okay,
much want to see silver at
down there.
27.
I
It's
think a
going to be
lot
an
of people,
unbelievable buying opportunity.
right, and same with gold. I mean, gold, maybe we're going to see 2,800. That's not a good looking weekly look right there. Could not make a new high, failing rally, breaking down. There's a lot of space. So, I don't know if I would ride leverage positions in the precious metals. I'd even be coming out of some miners, even though I think miners will hold up better this time. The worm has turned in miners where you'll see a day, I don't think it'll be today, but there have been many days when physical metals have been down hard. They'll open the miners lower and then bring them back, which is the opposite of what was happening last year. You'd have a strong physical market and the miners would pop in sympathy and then fade. So, I think those are going to be the ones to back up the truck if these prices in physical happen.
Mm.
I talked to a guy who said that the silver shares are outperforming silver in the last few weeks. It turned, and that's
Yeah,
a
I think a lot has to do with hedges in and people trade gold. They don't really are involved in miners. This is hedges coming off with this. There's been so much less bad news against which the market needs to hedge in gold this week. The ceasefire in Iran, the even yesterday potential concessions by the EU are given to the US to reach a trade deal. if we consider, and as I've been saying so often, that gold is just a hedge against everything that goes bad. If there's less bad stuff going on, people need less hedges. And I think there's a risk that actually gold goes a bit deeper today.
Okay. Yeah, so again, moving a negative correlation lately. It's been strong market. Here we are, new contract highs in S&Ps, blowing out the divergence. Um, who knows what the hell to do? I still think that there's a correction coming. And I think it'll probably be spurred on our rates really turning in a big way. Will the Fed disappoint, not do anything? We'll see. Um, let's get to currencies. All right. So,
Hey, before we do that, Dale,
yeah.
can you look, I just want to mention that if you guys haven't put your name and email address down for the newsletter, and to be notified about trading analytics, there's just a couple of days left of June, and we're giving away. And it's since it was just such a small window of time. There you have your chances of winning a trader funding program assessment that we're giving away to all the people that are putting their names in the on the email list are much better right now. So
All right.
make
Why
sure
don't you
you
show it, Blake, how they can do it and post it in the room? I'm going to give you the screen
Oh, yeah,
so
I'll
that
just post.
people.
Well, okay. I'll take the screen, and then you guys can talk, and I'll navigate through charts. So here's the link, if you will. And so make sure
Yeah.
you guys. This is just to get updates on trading analytics, which will be launching here in the next couple months, and a lot of great things. We're going to give you guys updates on all the technology that we're bringing to the table, which is a lot. All the upgrades that we're going to be upgrading from Forex Analytix. We're going to be just kind of showing you along the way. So make sure you're signed up for our newsletter. It's just our internal database. So we literally send out a newsletter every weekend, which also has the week ahead video and like calendar of events of things that are happening next week and a nice little write up. We've been doing that forever. So
It's it really, and it gives you all the news that happened the week before and what to look forward to for next week. The
yeah,
schedule,
and
all the news.
yeah, so it's just good stuff, and then plus you'll be notified. You'll be one of the first ones that be notified, and we're gonna have perks. All right, Ryan, we're gonna have some perks for people that are early adopters or on this list early. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly that.
All right, fantastic. So hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
It's all
interrupt.
good.
Just I know
Yeah,
Dale,
you did.
you were, yeah, I did, I totally did.
All
Well, it's
right.
Friday, and I'm like, well, screw it, yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it.
All
No,
right.
what you were going to ask guys about the market, so I'll navigate
Yeah.
with charts. You just kind
All
of do
right.
the talking.
All right. What has your interest in currencies here, Ryan? I think that there could be another high. But I'm not looking for 120 on this run. Are you?
No, not that it can't happen. And this is a conversation we had in the flow show. Everyone's getting fixated about the numbers. Okay, don't be fixated about the numbers. 120, 119, 130. It doesn't matter. What matters is the trend and whether that trend can continue or whether that trend is going to stop at some point. And
Okay.
we had a big conversation on the flow show this morning because I know Blake put us all on the spot yesterday. When's the dollar going to turn? So we looked at that a bit more.
I'm
in
still
depth.
asking the same question.
I know you
today.
are. Now we've got an answer. Now we can have 5 minutes to think about it.
Within 2 weeks.
Yeah, deadline 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's possible that we're talking weeks and potentially months here, and there's 2 reasons. Okay, firstly, I know you're going to talk about PCE. PCE doesn't matter today because Powell's told us the numbers already, and he's very.
What's the number going to be, Ryan?
2.3 PCE, 2.6 core, which is exactly what's expected now because everyone's lined up. and there shouldn't be too much of a variation. However, PCE from next month, June, July, August, is going to be important because Powell's told us this is the period he expects to see his inflation coming. This inflation that he's keeping rates on hold for. So there's two things that can happen. He's going to get the inflation and he's going to get proved right, or he's not going to get the inflation and then we're heading towards cuts. And if he signals we're getting cuts, we're at the end of the expectation trade for cuts. And we know what happens when the market trades the expectation, not the event. Once the market gets its cuts, it's going to have limited room to sell the dollar just on monetary policy, irrespective of what else is going on in the economy. So if all being well, we get trade deals, the Fed doesn't get high inflation, we don't see the economy, booming, they're still going to cut rates, but it's going to be getting rates to normal. I don't think there's going to be a dollar selling trade on them taking rates down another, to 2%, 2.5%, 3%. So that's the point where I think, all being well, we see a turn in the dollar.
So can I translate that for
about
everybody?
a major trend change.
Can I translate that for everybody? We're going to see 120 and then we're going to turn. There you go. Good. Thanks, Ryan, for pointing out that. All you did, you could have just thrown out the number and not explained all that, and we would have been fine.
120.36. There you go. If you want a number out of thin air. But anyway, that's our thought. It's not going to affect anyone today, of course. But yeah, where can the euro go? It can go anywhere. Everyone talks about 120 because it's clickbait. It's a headline grabber. If we hit 120, we'll be talking about 130. That's the way it works. Worry about if it's going there and how it's going to continue going there and what happens if it doesn't go there.
Well, just for the record, 120 is the triangle resistance. The 119.50 levels, the 161% extension of this move, right? It is that is it. It's a 261% extension of this dip, this major dip. It all lines up. Now, whether it just ends up being a speed bump at 120, who knows? But there are a confluence of targets up there, which gives us the technical argument, not necessarily the macro argument or anything else, but it would give us the technical argument to be a seller up there. And then if you think about where relative strength is on a daily basis, just fast forward us a few days. You got and by the way, if you don't know what you can see these are all the dollar longs I was in last night, Dale, just so you can see. I got out of the Rand, Mexican peso, Norwegian krona, and dollar CAD. Those are the positions I was in last night. So I just closed out all.
NOK, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
NOK has held up great.
It has. But anyway, but if you look at sentiment really quick, you just look at the DSI. The Euro DSI is at 83, so it's not quite extreme. But yeah, fast forward to 119.50, exactly where Ryan says it's going to pivot. And I'm joking, Ryan. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. This the Euro sentiment would theoretically be in the 90s, which is extreme. So if you put it all together, if we get up into the 119 to 120 level, not only is there a technical argument, there's probably a sentiment extreme argument, and then we can take in what information we have, to make a decision at that point, which, I will already from a risk reward perspective be on the sell side up there. And let me just reiterate, guys, if you're not, having these conversations with people on a daily basis, you only get us for 30 minutes here. But if you're a Forex Analytix subscriber and you're just out here having conversations with us all day long about these type of topics, and you can see that this is like our general chat room. These are side threads that we're talking about the tariffs and what the 90 days mean. That was Michael Brown. We're talking about the 618 and the Rand, and you got K-Man jumping in, and Adam and Gavin and Steve. Steve's in Australia, Gavin's in the UK, Adams is somewhere north of where you're at, Ryan, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So these conversations we have all day long, every day. And if you're not joined up on Forex Analytics, it's only $1 for 10 days to try it out. All right. So Dale, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No
interject.
problem. That's good.
Now
It's all right.
let's go. I'm sure you're gonna want to talk to Cayman. And did you know Greg is here?
No.
Greg is here.
Okay.
So
So
anyway, I'll
Greg
stop talking.
probably has Greg. Let's get to K-Man first.
You,
All right. How are you, Kay? So,
yeah, good man,
uh,
and
how,
hope you
all right.
too.
How you going? I'm doing okay. How you going? How are you positioned for the weekend? You pretty
Um,
flattened out?
yeah, I'm traveling light. I got a little bit of Aussie. I've got leftovers from way below in cable and the euro dollar, but I'm just going to let those month-end flows go by and then see what happens. I am tempted. Oh, I'm going to keep a close eye. Let's put it in a different way. I'm going to keep a very close eye on silver if it comes back to 35, but because it could already be good enough for a hold. I think it should at least hold better than gold. I think gold is a bit at risk for get me out of those hedges a bit ahead of the weekend. Actually, since the start of the show, we've already lost $7. So I think that's in a bit in danger of a deeper correction still. But I'm not tempted to put too much on Dale right here and now. I can see a reason though that if we would get more dollar selling over month end or quarter end or half year end into tonight or Monday, that we see a small move back better for the dollar because of everything that's been going on over the past days on the trade hedge war geopolitics and stuff like that. It's starting to look a bit better for the US perhaps, and again that may have people who are in short dollar maybe rebalance a little bit or at least take some off the table and then reassess, you know. So where I'm now, we are not breaking fresh highs in euro dollar or cable,
Yeah.
at least not far beyond where we have now. You never know with the flows, of course, because if there's nobody in front of the flows, it is going to go. But we have seen stupider things happen. But I'm not let's say ready to add two positions where we are now. I think
Okay.
fundamentally speaking, we may have for at least a short period of time run our course in the lower.
Yeah. There you go, Blake. And you know what, guys? Look, I was the wrong way. I tried to play a correction. It worked the first time, last week, going into the bombing, and didn't work when I bought the break this week. But within the community, there were some sharp guys talking about 1750, 200 pips before it got there. I
Yep.
wish I would have heard it. Okay. So, I mean, that would have saved me from, not faded Greg on that. And came in. So, I mean, uh, I was the only one that, may have bump steered people this week on the dollar, but everyone else um, was on top of it.
That's
So
not true, Dale, because I tried to play the dollar on the long side after the break of 117. It's not it was a tough trade. I've tried
yeah.
playing both directions this week too. So
Well,
I
look,
think
Blake, most people choke on these words. I do not. And I think it's cathartic for everyone to say because it happens all the time. I was wrong. How difficult is that to say? Because it's a fact. You can't get into a boxing ring without taking a hit now and then. Doesn't mean you're going to lose because you take a hit. Maybe you scored the knockout. So, get used to saying that. And the other thing people choke on is I don't know. And because to say I don't know makes you feel like you're inadequate because you should know. But there are times in the market when you don't know that it's wisdom to own it. All right. And
Amen.
know that you don't know and don't try and force anything and come up with a reason. Let the market and the charts and the price action give you the reason, and it'll be so compelling, you'll know, and you'll have a hard time avoiding taking that trade because you'd rather be proven wrong by the market than to see that opportunity loss slip away
Dale,
from you.
Dale, the guys that I traded for, for over 20 years, they managed Switzerland's educational fund. So if you're a professor, teacher of all of Switzerland, they manage the retirement accounts of the entire
Wow.
country's pension funds.
That's like CalPERS.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
did it for 20 years and together, and they had 50 years of experience. And I'll tell you what, they would say, Blake, we learn every day, and
Yeah.
they were the best traders I've.
Yeah.
And listen, guys, I gotta take a step back away from my microphone. Having a little bit of an issue with my dog. Anyway,
All
I just
right,
want to
go
say
ahead, bro.
it's okay
Let
not
me
to
add,
know. Yeah,
let me add something to that.
let me
Dale,
you guys take over the charts, will you? Thanks.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Dale,
ahead.
let me
Right.
add something to that, because if traders learn to acknowledge when they're wrong, they would save untold money in losses. And you can do that right from when you set a trade up. If you acknowledge how much risk you're going to put on it, then you're not going to lose more than that. You're acceptable of that. It's controlled. It's when traders get in trades thinking it's going their way, they go offside, they haven't got a plan. Oh, what do I do now? Oh, it's going to come back, so I'll trade a bit more. Oh, it's gone again. I'll add a bit more because it's going to come back, and they end up compounding the loss instead of going, you know what? I'm wrong.
I've
I'm
done
wrong.
it.
Yeah, we've all done it. We've all done it. We'll still do it, but
Yeah.
different. We hope now with experience as we do it less and less. But we all do it. We all get it wrong, and you got to get it wrong in a controlled way. That's the way you stop yourself going broke.
Yeah. The statement, I think I'll watch it for a while, is not a strategy.
Nope,
Okay.
absolutely not.
Yeah, I think I'll just watch it for a while. Ever hear yourself saying that? All right. Let's bring Greg in because Grega was also pretty accurate with what's going on. Real accurate. So Grega, I surrender our
Hey,
television set to you, bro. And why don't you go ahead and change the channel and update us with your wave counts here?
yeah. Can you see the screen? Yes.
Yeah, we got the dollar.
Yeah, so earlier you discussed, I mean, Blake mentioned, Ryan as well, if the question is when and how far this euro dollar trend can resume or dollar weakness. And looking at some big charts here, we are certainly approaching very important channel, potential support line here. So I still think that going into the summer, we could stabilize. I'm not sure if this trend would really reverse, but definitely it's time of the year and the price where certainly we have to respect that possibly the dollar weakness will slow down.
Can
And
you go back to that chart for a minute and let me ask you a question? Because this is what the bulls are saying. All right, your first red circle at the top at, I don't know, 115, that first break, they're saying that's A, and then we rallied to 110 for B, and now we almost have equality from that first
exactly.
decline.
Exactly.
So if that's an ABC, what does that imply? That this was just a year, 2 years of correction, and the dollar's
I
going to
mean,
roar again?
yeah, exactly. But for that to happen or unfold back to the bullish trend here, then certainly I would have to see some kind of aggressive reversal across the markets. Possibly we see some very serious risk-off moves, and then you
Okay.
want to see an impulse, let's say back towards 104, if not even higher. So that
All right.
would obviously trigger more bulls here. So we are at decision point. Possibly this was very similar to what had been here in 2002. Also, we had a pretty similar distance here. of recovery. We stopped up here. We came to the downside, and now we are testing that similar trend line. So because we had this C to A target, which is shown here on a daily chart, here coming in around 95, and since we can count 5 waves down, I just seriously think that it's the sentiment which could lead to the opposite direction. And looking at the 5th wave here, obviously it's still incomplete, it's ongoing, and as long as we have these lower highs, lower swing lows, and hold below this upper trend line here connected from that May highs, that's still technically a downtrend. But I would not be looking, even if this dollar weakness would resume, I would not be looking for opportunities maybe on euro dollar at this stage. I think that we have some much better looking wave structure on,
before you go there, is that an ending diagonal?
I mean, it's certainly possible because we have a few overlaps here, but still in the middle of this ending diagonal, not completed yet. So we could be basically in a wave 3, we will see a wave 4 rally and then another push to the downside. So we are still bearish here, but I think that we really have to be careful. We also see stocks indexes moving to new all-time highs, and it's certainly a period when everyone will get excited, and that's when we can get some retracement, and this could certainly trigger some rally on the dollar as well. But as I said, for now, the dollar obviously still trading down. It doesn't matter what I think will happen. I just assume, and I'm prepared rather than be surprised here. But regarding what is happening right now, since dollar is still weak, I just think that maybe on Aussie or Kiwi, we have some much better looking wave structure. So commodity currencies, I still think could outperform, even if the euro dollar would slow down a bit, maybe will not continue higher in the same with the same type of a price action like we have seen in the last few weeks, few months. So I'm looking at Aussie here. We are just finally trying to come out of this range that was for the last 2 months. So I think that there is a pretty nice upside potential here. It could be a very nice move, maybe going into the next few weeks. Looking even at, let me open here, at New Zealand dollar.
And by the way, we got about 3 minutes till news, and I am back.
I will be. We have interview today?
No.
Okay. Here is also New Zealand dollar. I mean, also looking at as a very nice reversal from that support levels here. So this one, in my opinion, also has a plenty of room for more upside. If we see some setbacks while we are still holding below that high, I think that there can be a very nice opportunity. So 0.6 is a pretty nice, interesting support, in my opinion, on the next dip. So what I see here across these charts, commodity currencies in particular, that next week, if we get some solid intraday retracement, I think that there can be some opportunities. Also, earlier you discussed about gold. I think that gold is still bullish. We are just maybe in the middle of this triangle. The fact is that that was a free wave drop. We know that's a correction, but now it belongs to a complex correction. So watch out for maybe some supports a bit lower. I think we had this gap here somewhere around mid-May, around 3,190. So if we get there, we also will see the 61.8%, and that's normally the key fib level when you are in the middle of a triangle here. Silver also just a consolidation, in my opinion, with an uptrend. 33.70 is the trend changer, and as long as we are above that level, I just still think that's a pretty nice, healthy uptrend. We are still holding this trend line support as well. So I will pass the screen. You need the screen, Blake?
Yeah, it's just because we got the data coming out in less than a minute now. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Okay, we have about a minute. Ryan, final thoughts here as we go into the data?
Bubbles in our room made a good point. Keep an eye on the income numbers as well, because that could provide a little boost for the dollar, irrespective of what PCE does.
All right. K-Man, we even have Canadian data. No. K-Man?
No, everything's been said. No additional comments.
Okay. Dale?
I'm with K-Man.
Steve?
Steve's
No,
asleep.
mate. Nothing Nothing to add.
All right, and
Steve,
Grega, you know, since we don't have a, if you
Steve
have
could
other
have said
charts
he's
you
with
want
me
to,
too.
I'm sorry, what?
Steve, you could have said you're with me too. I'm with Cayman.
I'm with you. I'm with you, mate. 100%, all the way.
All right, here comes the data. Here we go.
Oh, personal income is weak.
Weak personal income. So yeah, that's just another
Core
reason.
PCE hotter by a pip, 2.7%. Headline PCE in line, 2.3%.
Well, let's see if this is the catalyst that drives us to new highs at this point. So yeah, I mean we're trading at 117.25 right now, and let's see if the euro can actually take out those highs and see if we can run past 117.50. Okay, so what jumps out at you, Ryan?
Pretty much that core going 2 pips higher. I know income's soft and spending's soft as well, but I think the core number gets it. Powell's talked about inflation, and there it is.
All right. Well, but you know what? The market doesn't care, and it's still selling dollars regardless. Isn't that interesting?
And I agree with that.
All right. Well, while we see if this data is going to play out, Grega, did you have other charts you wanted to talk about?
Maybe just a few, yes.
Yeah, why don't you take it over, and we'll I'll jump in if the euro starts taking out 120 this morning. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Okay, so silver, basically, as I said, still I think that will have more upside. Stocks, looking at the S&P, we are here at all-time highs. I would be aware of some retracement here, but overall, if we get some very nice pullback, I still think that we will see more gains later on because we have a very nice, beautiful ongoing strength. Of course, on dips, watch the previous fourth waves. Usually in fourth waves, we'll find the support in very similar levels here. So I think that 6,000 maybe is the first support, and then you have 5,900 if we see this pullback. Excuse me?
59.20 was a real big number. It kept holding it like 3-4 times.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a very strong uptrend on single stocks. We also have some very interesting patterns, and I think that some of the major names could still follow to the upside as well. Now, I also want to look and bring attention to Coinbase. So basically, Coinbase is seeing a massive move to the upside over the last, two weeks or so. And if you take a look here on the chart below, which is Bitcoin, you can see that cycles were basically very similar, exact cycles of highs and lows. And if you look now here in the last current cycle of Coinbase, it's breaking significantly to the upside. So I still think that Bitcoin is lagging a bit here and that will try to catch the upside and will move to new highs because we have basically on a 4-hour time frame, we clearly had these 3 waves correction. We are now trying to test the upper side of this flag pattern. So I'm looking for more upside on cryptocurrencies, but I'm not sure if Bitcoin could be a very strong mover to the upside. I think that there can be some limited upside and that there will be flows that will change into altcoins. Also looking at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, this one is very useful. You can see that we have some stop orders up here around 110,000. So maybe this could provide the near-term resistance, but overall, after some retracement, I think that we could clear this out. And as I said, maybe alt season is still in front of us. This, by the way, is the Ethereum. I think that that's a pretty nice, interesting head and shoulder bottom formation. You have a left shoulder head and the right shoulder perfectly basically stopped the right shoulder at this 2100 level, which was very important, as you can see a few times here when you look back. So I think that more upside here is coming, especially
how does Ripple look after
Ripple. I mean, Ripple is consolidating. It still, in my opinion, will continue higher. Yes, I think that there is a very nice triangle, and longer we stay in this range, more
Okay.
powerful can be the breakout, and a lot of more traders, investors will get frustrated and maybe exit the potential longer term trades here. But I still think that we are missing the final push to the upside. But whenever we get this another push higher on cryptocurrencies this year, I think that
That's
then
it.
later, yes, in October, let me check if I have this one here. In October of this year, I think that we could complete this bull run because it will be lasting for 3 years. And each time after 3 years of a bull run, we have seen an important top on cryptocurrency. So watch out for maybe for September, October months. If we see another push to the upside into that period, I think that it will be maybe not bad idea to exit when everyone will just get excited, but maybe too late.
A lot of triangles coming through in different instruments. You ever notice that, Grega, that sometimes you start to see patterns repeat in unrelated instruments?
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's the issue because of geopolitical issues and this tariffs, and maybe now going into the summer, we'll see some more clearer breakouts.
Okay.
Potentially.
Thanks, Grega. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming in on Friday and giving us some fat to chew on over the weekend. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Dale.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks, Grega. It's always good to get Grega's views. And by the way, if you guys don't know this, and I'll just make sure I share this. You know, if Grega does all the Elliott wave stuff on Forex Analytix, and him and his team update all of these all 30 instruments, not just currencies. You could talk about the euro, or what Grega was talking about with the S&P. All of his updated charts are here. Take advantage of that, because you may not get Grega live all the time on this show, but you can also get his analysis right through Forex Analytix. Dale, I want to say, well, first of all, the euro's at highs. You want to see what traders are doing, what Ryan and I are doing. We're posting all our stuff right here in the chat room. Make sure you guys get signed up for our newsletter so you get registered for that giveaway for the Trader Funding Program assessment. We got a lot of great stuff coming up just this next 2 weeks. Next week is 4th of July, so it's going to be a holiday week. Just FYI for those of you guys that are navigating and preparing for what's to come. Also, I'll be filming the week ahead video here in the next hour or two. So, Dale, I want to say thanks for hosting us this week, as always.
Thanks.
When you heading out for greener pastures and better weather?
I think after the holiday.
Nice. All right.
Maybe late next week. We'll see. I'm ordered some equipment so I could, have internet there and so forth. So.
Good.
Yeah.
If anything, you just feed the carrier pigeons. So.
Yeah. And I think the best way to wrap it is with what Timothy Jabin just wrote to us. He said, "I'm not a paying customer yet, and I do not trade currencies. I regularly attend your morning session, and I'm so grateful for the exchange of ideas, the generous sharing of many years, decades of trading wisdom experience. Thank you. I'm going to step away for a week and enjoy time with the grandkids and cooler temps in northern Michigan. Count your blessings always."
That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing.
So,
what a place to be in the summer.
I was talking to a friend yesterday, and I said, the most rewarding part of what we do is the teaching aspect, the encouragement aspect to people, the mentoring that, for me, seeing others succeed is better than, a four-bagger on an option. So, we're glad to do it. It's our purpose. It's our mission to build up and edify traders every day. I used to say that every day, but I'll just leave it with, don't just count your pips, count your blessings, everybody. Have a great weekend and, really count your blessings and hold, even though it looks like everything's fine after what happened in Iran. These are, I think, perilous times. It's important to have the people you love around you and for you to tell them. So that's the end of my homily. So
Yeah,
everyone,
yeah, I just want to say thank you, Timothy, for making not only my day, I'm sure, Ryan's and K-Man's and
yeah,
Grega's and Steve's here. I mean, this is these types of comments they go
we
a long
do
way with
we
us.
do a good thing here, Blake. We've been
We do.
serving the not just currency uh, population of FinTwit, but all other people come in here like Timothy just said, he doesn't even trade currencies, but he gains knowledge on other things, and probably learning about currencies at the same time. So what we do here is a service. And if you appreciate the service, really the way to reciprocate is to do something for yourself. You don't have to give it away to us. You're doing it for yourself to become part of this community and be, like Blake says every day, if you're not involved in these conversations, you're missing something. And I missed the 11750 call by the community. So anyway, that's it. Have a great weekend, everybody.
We do
Parth,
accept beer though, Dale. We do
beer?
accept beer. Yeah, if someone wants to drop a bottle of beer in, we'll
And
say
your
no.
favorite brand?
The wet one.
Okay. With bubbles. With
Yeah,
bubbles.
anything that's
All
wet.
right. Anything that's wet and is carbonated. All right. So thank you, everyone. Team. Did it again, Dream Team.
Thank you,
Great
Dale.
work.
Thank you, Coach.
Great work.
Cheers, Coach.
And the good news is we get to do it all over again next week. All right. So adios, everyone. Have a great weekend. We'll see you then. Thanks, Blake, Ryan, K-Man, Steve Volge,
Bye-bye, Dale.
Thanks,
Grega.
Coach.
See you guys. Adios. Forex Gal loves Ryan.
Oh
See?
yeah. Oh
All
yeah,
right.
she does. Oh, she does.
Okay.
And
All
Ryan
right.
loves Forex Gal, just so you know.
I love everybody.
What a
I love
beautiful
everybody.
thing. All right. See you guys.